And shifting focus to these heart-wrenching images emerging from Gaza, this time from Rafah, where hunger and desperation have reached breaking point. Thousands of Palestinians desperate for food are seen swarming an aid distribution center in southern Gaza. Civilians are seen jumping onto trucks, scrambling for whatever aid they can find. A scene of chaos, hunger and survival. Israel, which had imposed a full blockade, allowed very limited aid into Gaza last week, but humanitarian groups say it's nowhere near enough. Meanwhile, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency says over 3,000 aid trucks are currently stuck at the border, packed with food, medicine and life-saving supplies. They are waiting for the green light to enter Gaza. UNRWA official warned that these delays are costing lives as the humanitarian crisis inside Gaza worsens by the day. Gaza stands at the brink of collapse. According to Gaza's health ministry, 53,977 Palestinians have been killed and more than 122,000 injured in Israeli attacks since the war started in 2023. In the last 24 hours alone, 38 people were killed and 169 injured. That number excludes casualties from northern Gaza, where hospitals have gone silent. Since resuming its military campaign on March 18th, Israel has killed nearly 4,000 more Palestinians. And now Israel has said it is launching an unprecedented attack in southern Gaza, urging civilians in Khan Yunis to evacuate. The Israeli military claims the target is militant infrastructure, but Gaza's media office says 241 civilian shelters have already been hit in Israeli strikes.
We did not find a place to stay in, to shelter in, me and my children. My family consists of 8 people, 8. I was displaced before this. I was displaced in the south, and we came to rest after there was a truce, and praise God. Flour is unavailable. Food, we can't even find food. Since the morning, we are hungry. I swear to God, from the morning until now, we cannot find a piece of bread.
On Tuesday, the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which is an Israeli-backed logistics group, said that the lorry loads of food have been delivered to secure sites in Gaza. However, the UN told a press briefing in Geneva that they were unaware of whether any aid had actually been distributed in Gaza.
What I do know, however, is that the needs are 500 to 600 trucks at a minimum that should go into Gaza loaded with supplies, not only food, but also medicine, medical supplies, vaccines for children, fuel, water, and other basics for people's survival. And we're very, very, very far from reaching that target.
Before the devastating Israeli blockade on aid was imposed in early March, the UN brought life-saving humanitarian supplies to people. Now, the blockade has been eased to reportedly an extremely inadequate level due to political pressure on the Netanyahu government and UN agencies as well as major aid groups. They all have refused to cooperate with the Israeli aid group. Amid concerns, it violates fundamental humanitarian principles and breaches international law. Meanwhile, hospitals are overwhelmed, medical supplies are running out, Gaza's health system is nearing total collapse, and global outrage is building. On Monday, EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen condemned Israel's airstrikes on civilian sites as, I'm quoting her here, abhorrent. One of those strikes hit a school-turned-shelter, killing 31 people, including children, as they slept. Von der Leyen isn't alone. Germany, long a staunch ally of Israel, is now breaking ranks as well. German Chancellor Merz said that the Israeli strikes have lost all justification and that the scale of violence is now no longer comprehensible. Even Germany's foreign minister and junior coalition partners are pushing to halt arms exports to Israel, warning Berlin could become complicit in Israeli war crimes. Merz, who once promised to welcome Netanyahu to Berlin, is now calling for urgent humanitarian access into Gaza, and he is not alone. Finland, Sweden, Canada and France, they have all now joined calls to pressure Israel to allow aid in, demanding food, medicine and fuel reach the 2 million civilians trapped inside Gaza. Yet, UN agencies say that they still have no confirmation that any of the recently delivered aid has reached the people who need it most. As leaders across Europe shift their tone and Gaza's humanitarian crisis deepens, the question is, will Bibi listen?